Hello, Steve White, Steve White 89. Well, Wonder Woman. Got the little surprise of the opening scene. I saw it the other night, literally, and I'm like, no, it's too exciting, I need to sleep, so I went to bed and I watched it today. It's a bit of a problem. I'm an insomniac and I'm also in a different time zone, so sometimes you guys in America drop stuff that doesn't really fit my schedule, so I end up watching it the next day. And I was a little disappointed because they show on the thumbnail a picture of her from that highway action scene. I thought, oh wow, is that the scene that opens the film? Like it just opens bang in the middle of an action scene. It's like front loaded or something. And then when you watch the scene, it actually is another scene, and then it ends just with some random shots from the film. Whether they're actually in the end of that opening scene at the start of the film, or if they are just like the part of the video there's now the promo for the film, because it ends up saying, in cinemas. Obviously it doesn't say in cinemas, so it's not the complete just the scene removed. It's actually got a little bit of promotion tacked on the end of it with some shots from the film and that, and like the little cheetah joke about the shoes. So initially I was like, oh wow, so it's going to like start off talking about her life and then they're going to cut into her life now or something, showing her fighting some big scene, and then it kept going, it's only like 3 minutes long, when are they going to get to that scene? And then it's like, no, they're not going to. Like, okay. So it starts off with young Diana running through the woods, and she's competing, I guess, because she's a goddess, she's competing with the adults. And I'm curious to see what the kid has to do, because in the film, in the promotion, they said, look, we tried to look for a stunt double for this girl, but we couldn't find any stunt double who could do a better job than her. So she does all her own stunts in the film. I'm like, oh, wow, that's going to be interesting to see, and scary, because when you see some little girl doing dangerous stuff, and God, that's her. Yeah, that's going to be funny. But I also watched the preview, which I know I've already seen, but I don't remember seeing it. It said 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, oh, did I miss that one? But it's the one I already saw. And I think I even did a video on it, so I don't know if this is a Corona Zone moment where I've lost track of time, and I'm like, and did I do that? When did that happen? But it was interesting. I wanted to see Linda Carter. I was under the impression she was going to be in this film with a cameo, and I thought she'd be one of the, like, they show some women sort of looking over this big giant, what would you call it, competition? And I thought she'd be one of the queens, basically standing there in some nice regal battle armour. Maybe that happens later. I don't know. I guess don't spoil it for me. I don't know what. Then again, I just realised I'm not even going to be able to see the film. I doubt I'm going to see the film in the cinema. I bought the ticket to support the film, but I don't think I'm going to go, because I've made it this long in self-isolation. I'm just going to wait until there's a vaccine, because if I go out for a movie and just happen to stumble into the one little outbreak that happens in my state and get COVID after like 11 months of staying in, it's going to drive me nuts. I'm just going to do the whole thing, I think. And I know that places like the Astor Theatre and Westgarth Theatre will show the film, so I will see it on the big screen, probably in a double with Wonder Woman 1 and 2, because that's normally what they do when they have sequel films come out. They'll show the first 1 and 2 movies, and often it's a few months after the film actually comes out, because they pay to get them like afterwards, because they rent it's a different process from the first run cinemas and that. So I will see it on the big screen, but I will have seen it already on my TV screen, I think. I don't even know how I'm going to see it that way, because I don't know who's going to be showing it in Australia, if even will show in Australia. I heard that the country's getting the film sooner, December 15 or 16. We're going to be the ones who couldn't stream it. So does the fact that we're getting it on Boxing Day mean that we can stream it somewhere, and I just haven't worked it out yet? I need to research that. I just realised I probably should have researched it before this video, so I could share that information for anyone else watching this who doesn't know either how they're going to watch it in this country. But the other bit of news, because it wasn't quite a whole video once I saw it, like, I can't do a whole video on that scene. It's nice. The kid looks good and convincing, and the few shots they do show from the film, Gal looks amazing. I'm in love with Gal, not as much as Linda Carter. I wanted to be Linda Carter when I was a kid, and no matter how much I span, I could not turn into Wonder Woman, much as I tried. But I love her, and I have to meet her one day. She's on the have to meet, or I will die, not before I die, but or I will die, like Jeannie, Barbara Eden, and a few other people. Adam West was on that, but then he died. But yeah, I have to meet Linda Carter. I love her. And Gal Gadot, I wouldn't mind meeting her too. She seems fabulous. Unlike some other female action heroes who beat trans women and undermine their, attempts at equality. So, those people aren't exactly heroes I want to worship. But Gal Gadot, she hasn't done anything. I can even forgive her for Imagine because you can see her heart was in the right place. She just, screwed that up really bad. But I love her more for it because she screwed that up so bad and still managed to go on without, hiding under a bed for the rest of eternity. But yeah, the other news that happened, I'm going to call this my nerd news roundup or something. I think nerd news works. Nerd news roundup. I don't know. I need names for all my different videos that are on a theme, or I do more than one of. The other news was apparently they're making Star-Lord bi. I'm like, I don't like Chris Pratt. I can't get past his ankles. I know that's petty. Don't know what I'm talking about. Watch, was it The Passenger? Was that the film where he's on the ship alone with, yeah, that film. Apparently they're making the comic book character bi, but the comic book character, the film isn't based on him, but they've made the comic book character more like the film because obviously the films do better than the comics, apparently. So they're altering the comic characters in the comics to more resemble the films. So whether this will affect anything, but something tells me that Chris Pratt's perceived homophobic, transphobic, basically overall phobic, because he's a Christian, like practicing going to church and a very problematic church at that, demeanour, means they're probably going to have some fun and make his character have a little gay rendezvous in the new film, maybe with Thor, is what some people are suggesting, just to make him quit, because they think he'd rather quit than do a sex scene with a man or a kissing scene with a man. And I wouldn't mind seeing him and Thor go at it, actually. I don't really like blonde guys or white guys, but just to know how much Chris Pratt must be hating doing the scene, I'd get some perverse pleasure out of that. So I don't think that's actually going to happen, but it would be funny if they were because it seems to be a response to his supposed alleged left-wing ideology, philosophy, following religious, what is it when you follow religion blindly? It's on the edge of I don't have time to find it. Okay, so I'm going to go. Feel free to share, comment, subscribe. Those are the two things. Yes, they showed a little bit of Wonder Woman, and I thought it was going to be the scene, because I saw in some interviews on Parkinson, they had Gal Gadot, and they showed part of this scene on the highway, and it was stunning, and I only saw about 30 seconds. I thought, oh God, we're going to get the whole scene, and we didn't. So it was good, but if you do a thumbnail, you have to represent what the video is, or you'll disappoint people, unless you just want to do clickbait. So they really had the wrong image on that, because it implied it was that scene, and it's not that scene. So be warned, if you're going to haven't watched it and going to go watch it, it's not that scene. And of course, making Star-Lord bi, he seems it doesn't seem that out of character for him, because he seems just pretty camp and over the top, and he calls himself Star-Lord, for God's sakes. But it would be really fun to see them mess with Chris Pratt, because if he's not the homophobic, transphobic, religious zealot, that was the word I was looking for, that people accuse him of, then he won't have any problem with banging Thor or being banged by Thor, or some other, space dude. So have at it. I'm going to go. Thanks. Bye.